What's the wildest thing your child has done? Did you have a good laugh or learn an important lesson from that experience? Do you want to share your story? Maybe you can't stop thinking of a huge accomplishment that you had from being a mom. I want to hear about that too. Welcome to my podcast. The Wealth of Wellness presents This Incredible Mom Life. Hi, I'm Ami, a mom of 3 boys who have given me countless laughs, proud mama moments, and endless challenges. Join me every week as we hear the craziest and most unbelievable mom stories. I'll be sharing the huge accomplishments and triumphs of both our moms and their kids. We'll giggle, cheer on the kids, and discuss obstacles and lessons learned along the way. I want to hear if your 3-year-old says a stampede of boogies just came out of his nose, or if your 10-year-old created an infomercial to save his dad's receding hairline, or even if your 13-year-old's robotics project turned into a disaster. I also want to know if your 15-year-old finally came out of his shell in high school and joined a bunch of clubs, and even the fencing team. Let's share, laugh, learn, and grow together, one crazy mom story at a time. Welcome to today's episode. I have a supermom guest with me, and my local listeners may recognize her. Kelli Signorile is a seasoned marketing and project manager and creative operations leader with over a decade of experience helping global brands find clarity, structure, and alignment across teams. She's led major brand and website integration initiatives, managed creative workflows across internal and agency partners, and built processes that make work and life flow more smoothly. Kelli is also a mom of 4 boys and someone who understands what it means to juggle life, work, and identity, especially during seasons of transition. She's currently exploring the next chapter of her career and developing her own podcast, Generations, a show that explores how different generations view and navigate key topics like confidence, purpose, parenting, and identity. Through real conversations across age groups, the podcast looks at what's changed, what's stayed the same, and who might just be doing it better. She's passionate about connection, storytelling, and helping other people feel seen, whether in a project plan or in a heart-to-heart conversation. Thank you, Kelli, for taking time out of your day to be here with me.
Thank you, Amy, for including me on this podcast. I'm so excited.
Awesome. So as you heard in Kelli's introduction, she is a mom to 4 boys. And that means between the 2 of us, we are raising 7 boys. So Kelli, share a little bit about who you are a mom to.
So like you said, I have 4 boys. A mom friend of mine says I should run for the school board because I have literally a boy in every single grade school. So I have a high schooler, a middle schooler, an elementary schooler, and one in preschool. They definitely keep me busy. The older 2 are actually all the older 3 are all in sports, and the little one is just, finding his own identity amongst his brothers.
Oh my goodness. And you are one busy mama.
I'm one busy mama.
Yes.
I have a command center with all their schedules just to keep it, straight because.
Oh yes, I know that feeling. All right, well, let's jump right in. Tell us, I'm sure you have a lot of crazy mom stories, but tell us one.
Yeah, one story that I guess coming off of, we just came from Boston a couple of weeks ago. The older 2 boys are very, they're very really good with track, and they've made it to the national level to compete against other track runners across the country. And so we went to the track at New Balance in Boston, and typically this is an activity actually outside of the school. And so what that means is the parents have to do a lot of the planning and the logistics and coordinating with the coaches and the athletes. My children, they have qualified for nationals a couple of times. So in the winter, we go to Boston, and in spring, we go to Philadelphia to UPenn. But we just came back from Boston. And like I said, because the school does not manage, it's kind of outside of the school scope. Um, the parents are responsible for organizing the hotel, the meal planning, getting the children to Boston, back home. And it's a lot. And me, as you mentioned, I am a project manager. And so when I hear the boys are accepted into nationals, I go into project management mode. Um, and in hindsight, I'm just wondering if that is the best way to organize a trip, because they're my children and they're not typically my clients or my stakeholders. And so you might see, not might, you will see like a little not aggressiveness, but I'm definitely assertive in my planning. And I'm like, we got to stick to the time and schedule. I need to know A, B, and C. And I think, because I am kind of um, this way, it could be a little bit too much for the boys. And so, like I said, when I hear they qualify, it might be a month out, a little bit more than a month out. I'm already booking the hotel, but I need to understand what the schedule is once we get
Mhm.
there. And the kids are just kind of like, Mom, you need to really calm down. We have like over a month to get there. Like, just chill. And what they don't understand is because we are such a large family, it
Yeah.
does take a little bit of planning on my part. We're a family of six, and we have a dog. And the dog element actually brings another scoop of chaos because you have to find a dog sitter, someone who's comfortable. And actually, for me, when we do have someone come stay and watch the dog, I make sure I go grocery shopping for that person. Like I have meals prepared. So it's a lot of planning that goes into us leaving here for 2 or 3 days. And then also, we don't go on vacations. So I really make these experiences like fun. I get like a sort of an upscale. It's not like the Ritz, but I do upscale the hotel and make sure the hotels have pools for the younger ones who are not running. I also look for hotels, which is so important, that include breakfast. Um, because when we're at these places, we're on the go and really don't have time to stop. And so having a hotel, and I know this just sounds really like small and like whatever, but it really goes into the planning because, the kids need to eat before they go running. And so I get really excited about, you know, the hotels I choose. I'm hoping they like it. It's kind of like, Christmas morning, the reveal, and hoping they are like, oh my God, yes. But when we get there and leading up, they're just like, oh, whatever. And the fact that we've gone to nationals a couple of times, I don't know why it surprises me, but it does. And then I just get really disappointed and upset because they have this whatever attitude. And then every time we go to nationals, I snap. Um, and I snap in public. Like, oh my God, you need to like check your attitude, like you need to be more grateful and appreciative. And I was talking to my husband about, did we raise rotten kids? Um, and I don't think they're not rotten. Um, but I don't know if they understand all the work that goes into getting them there. And also realizing they too are probably just really anxious and nervous about, you know, this big experience for them. They're on like a national platform. Um, and now they're also running with, um, they also run with an Olympic runner, Quincy Wilson, who was just in the Paris Olympics over the summer. He's a junior at Bullis High School. And so, they have a little bit of celebrity shock when they also attend there. And I think I need to do a better job at recognizing and giving them grace about, being nervous.
Yes.
They run all over Rockland, but it's just a different, I guess, atmosphere and feeling when they are at these national competitions.
Yeah. And there was a whole lot in your story there that
Sorry.
no, that's great. I love it. I love that you use your work skills into organizing and planning a trip and making all these memorable experiences for your boys.
Right.
Um, and I know that our boys don't appreciate all the work that we do.
No,
I
not at all.
yes, I know that feeling very well.
And
And
I don't know if it's, the age too, like um them being the older two being teenagers, just, kind of also comes with the moodiness. Um,
yeah, probably. But I love the fact that you just take everyone and make a mini vacation out of it and have a great time. And I'm sure they have a wonderful time and they appreciate you for it, even if they don't act like it.
I hope so. Again, I really try to make it an experience for all of us. You know, Planning vacations is just very rare because everybody has such, different schedules. And so, I really want this opportunity to just be fun. I try to even place us in a like core place where we're close to the track or we're close to a lot of like not nightlife, but like, where different restaurants are, things to do and see. Um, but they really are just like over it. They're just like, just DoorDash to the hotel room. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like,
Yes.
we could DoorDash at home. We're in Boston. We're in Philly. Let's just enjoy, the different types of foods that,
Yeah.
are known to these places. So yeah.
Yeah. Again, I think that's a little bit of typical teenager behavior thrown in there too.
Right.
Um, Now, you did mention that sometimes you snap and you
Yes.
just have it at the events itself. And
Yes.
I know that feeling too. Actually, my podcast that went out this morning was about what do your kids call you when you yell at them?
Oh.
Uh,
Hmm.
yes, so that is also a common problem that we face.
Right.
How do you feel in that moment when you're getting a little bit upset and frustrated?
Yeah, I do feel myself getting to the point. And so I try to say, Kel, just like relax, 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 like chill out. I have a mom friend that I talk to throughout the day. So I'm like texting her like, "Ugh, these little kids are just like driving me crazy." And then with and again, because there's thousands of people here, so it's just like really crazy and hectic, trying to find seats. My little one is actually going through potty training, so it's like back and forth to the bathroom. And so when you just have like all these things at once,
Mm-hmm.
and then the two kids like say some kind of slick remark, you just kind of like snap. And then I snap And then I'm just like, gosh, why did I even go there? And especially in such a like public place. And I feel bad. And I actually try to get in the habit of apologizing to my kids. Um, in the moment, I don't apologize because I'm just like, I need to calm down. Um, but you know, when I have calmed down, when I see they're a little bit more relaxed too, and are in a place where they would welcome me coming to them, I do say, I'm sorry I snap like that, but also you need to realize I am your mother. You cannot talk to me in this way. Also, me asking you questions isn't trying to like put you on the witness stand or anything. And that's the feeling I get. Like they feel like I'm putting them on the witness stand. It's just I don't know if I mean they're extremely smart boys, but I don't know if they are able to um conceptually like connect the dots. Um, if that makes sense. Um,
Yes, I'm
yeah,
sure they, like I said, I'm sure they appreciate everything you do, but they don't realize all the steps that went in
right,
before that. Yeah.
right. And so, um, and again, it's a lot of coordination with, and the coaches do come. But so it's just like, well, when is your coach gonna come? And when are your teammates gonna be here? Like if they're doing a relay and a lot of the questioning that I do just, sometimes just overwhelms them. But when I snap
Yep.
and when I'm calm and they're in a place where they can maybe accept it, I apologize, but also say, this this is why I'm asking the questions that I'm asking. But I
Yeah.
do need to do a better job at like, I don't know, giving them grace and just also I need to do a better job at giving myself grace
I
too.
was just going to say that. I'm like, you're first. You got to give yourself grace
Right.
first. But yes, I'm glad that you apologize to them, and I'm glad that they get to see that we're also human and
Yes.
not perfect.
Yes. And it's
um,
important to show them that adults can apologize to kids. I don't want to set like this scene where adults are always right.
yeah.
And then I just hope I mean, I don't know if they are looking at it as a lesson now, but maybe down the line also see like, when you're wrong, you should also um, apologize.
Yes, and that's a great thing to learn from those experiences.
Right.
Um, and I think that makes you a better mom in some ways, in so many ways.
I hope
Um,
so. I don't think, and I talked to my dad about this. Like, I don't think, growing up, I've had that experience, where my parents apologize to me.
yeah,
So it's definitely, I guess, growth for me. And hopefully, they will also do the same.
yes, awesome. Do you have any quick advice for a mom who might be feeling overwhelmed with balancing work, life, and her identity?
I said earlier maybe I shouldn't treat the kids like they're my client, but it does help in some aspects to kind of manage their schedule in that way. I have four boys. The little one, not so much, he doesn't have a schedule, but the other three do. And sometimes their schedules um conflict with each other.
Yeah.
And so I just um you really when you do have such a I don't know what it is to have a small family. So as a mom, with a big family, it's very important for me to, I get a calendar. I literally have my calendar mapped out. Like when the school calendar comes out, I literally have my calendar mapped out at least 6 months in advance.
Yep.
Um, and so I think that will help any mom as far as like having some sanity, because you kind of know what's coming up if you need to coordinate rides with other
Yep.
families. It helps you also plan for meals.
Yep.
Are we going to be home? If not, we're going to pick up something on the way. And so that really has helped me survive. And I think actually COVID um, helped me get to that place. I wasn't always
Nice.
at that place
Yep.
because the first year when the world locked down, because they had different times when they had to be online, and I was just like, I'm missing things. And that just made me feel inadequate. And so I think the first year after COVID, I was just like, I got to get it together. And so I just say, yeah, have a calendar where I mean, maybe 6 months out might be a bit much for people, but, or 3 months might be a little bit more realistic. And then, because we're the only I don't have family here. And so I think what I needed to do is quickly make other mom friends, like quickly. Um,
Yes. Find your
once the
tribe.
yes, once the boys started getting in activities, I just said, between my husband and I, and he worked over the bridge, like I can't do this alone. We can't do this alone. And so we've developed a lot of great friendships with other moms and dads. And I think, building your community can also help bring you some sanity. And, now that the older kids are, a bit older, they can navigate and communicate.
Hmm.
I encourage them also to make arrangements for them to get places.
Yeah. Teach.
They're, I mean, even though it's a little bit nerve-wracking, but they're now in high school, middle school, and their friends are driving now. So, you just have to trust that their friends are safe drivers, and just let them go.
Yep.
And so we really appreciate those kids who offer our kids rides too, because that is also very helpful. So yeah,
Yeah.
definitely the calendar, and build your community with other mom and dad friends.
Absolutely. I use the I have the school calendar sitting right on my kitchen counter, and I have different color highlighters for each school, and I'm like, okay, there's a PTA meeting on this night and a whatever event on this, and I write in
Yeah,
all of our other events and my work
yeah,
events.
it's a
Everything's
lot.
color coded.
It's a lot. Yeah, you got to
um
keep it organized. Yeah.
yeah, and we have both the paper calendar in the kitchen, and then we all share on the phone. So
Oh, that's a good idea.
yeah, so all of our the my two older boys have phones, the younger one doesn't, but
That's a good
we're all
idea.
on a family calendar, and we all each have our own different color events, and so yeah, it's a lot.
Yes,
It's
yes, it
definitely a
is.
little,
It is. It
but
is.
you seem to be doing really well with it, so I'm glad to
I
hear
try.
that. All right, let's switch gears a little bit. Tell us about your upcoming podcast.
So, um, I am, it's in my head, and I actually have recorded 2 sessions. But my podcast is called Generations. It's taking a look at different generations and specific things like confidence, fashion, um, apologizing to your kids,
Mhm.
just looking at, what did it used to be, what is it now, and who did it better. Um, I think, I'm extremely close with my dad, and I, have these conversations with him, like, you know, in your day, did you do this? And just how much, you know, um, things are actually still the same, but also still different.
Yes.
Um, and, you know, just having that awareness too in how to approach certain
Hmm.
situations. Even I'm sure communicating with your teenagers have always been like a struggle, but you know, add on social media, texting, it just brings on a different, you know, element. And so I just want to explore, you know, right now I'm just doing it by myself, but you know, eventually I want to include guests. But yeah, just explore, you know, how things have changed over the course of time.
That's amazing. And just to give you an example from what you were talking about, when my son is done with the school activity, and he wants me to pick him up, he says, done. He just texts me one word, done. And I'm like, okay. But I'm like, sometimes when grandma picks you up, I'm like, you can't just write done.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
right. Hey, grandma, I'm finished or something like, give her a little bit more. And
Exactly.
he was like, oh, okay.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
yes, so that's going to be a really fun podcast. I
Yeah,
can't wait to
I'm
hear it.
very you know, I'm excited about it. And it's also an opportunity also for me to just explore new things too.
Nice. Awesome. Um, is there any place people can connect with you and stay in touch and let us know when
Yeah,
your podcast being released?
I have a separate Instagram account outside of like my kids know. I do follow my kids on Instagram. But I have a separate account just, you know, for me. And it's called on Instagram Solely Live for in the letter U. So
Hmm.
SOULYLIVE, the number 4 in the letter U.
Nice. And I will link that when I put the show notes so people can
Okay.
connect with you.
Okay.
Um, this was so fun, Kelly. Thank you for
Yes,
joining me
thanks so much,
today.
Amy. This is really great. I was super nervous.
You did great. And I think you gave some helpful insights to some moms out there.
I hope so.
Are you struggling to be the best mom you can be? Are you fatigued, overwhelmed, and stressed out? Are you losing precious time with your family because of PMS? If so, join my signature 12-week program, the Vibrant Women Project, and you will be a much happier mom. In just 3 months, you will learn how to eliminate your symptoms of PMS, increase your energy, reduce stress, and fully enjoy this incredible mom life. Thanks for listening to today's episode. I hope you learned something from these stories. If you enjoyed this show, please make sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share this podcast. It really helps this show grow. If you have a mom story you would like to share, click on the link in the description below on becoming a podcast guest. Remember, the content on this podcast is for general information only. It does not replace any medical advice given by your healthcare provider. Please check with your doctor if you have any questions about your specific condition before starting any new diet or exercise regimen. Thank you, and you will hear from me soon.